Hey, what is up guys? This is Lemillion Nation coming to you again with another video. Now this is going to be spoiler free to the best of my abilities. So with that said, let's get into the video. Now this video is going to be the top 8 quirks with potential to surpass their limits right now. Like what will these quirks be 2 years down the line? What will they be like 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, or further on? Alright guys, so the first quirk I have on the list is blood control. Now, blood control is used by Vlad King. Now, blood control allows the user to manipulate their own blood after it has left their body. Notice the specifications, their own blood after it has left their body. Like, once the blood is out in the open here, the user can freely control its flow and movement, as well as harden it to immobilize foes. Now look at this guys, if this guy would actually train more and actually improve the know-how of his quirk, like how he actually uses it and improve its specifications, like he could actually use this quirk for something incredible. What about blood bending? Do you see that in Avatar? Like, what if he could actually control someone else and control someone else's blood while it's actually inside their body? In a battle, yeah, persons are going to be bleeding and so on. So if he could control someone else's blood, that would be great in and of itself. But what if he could do something like blood bending, control the person's blood while it's inside them? Like, who could actually fight him like that? Like, I know that they could resist it and so on, but like if he could actually amplify to that level where he can control someone else's blood while it's actually inside them, that would be epic. Alright, so the second quirk that we have on this list is cell activation. Now, in order to have cell activation activated more to a given potential, we would need Katsuma to actually develop more. Like he's basically like he's young right now, but if he would actually be given more time to actually grow and mature, that quirk could be developed into something incredibly useful. Now, the applications of this quirk is like activating the cells within a person's body. Like it could do minimal healing or healing on a certain level right now, but imagine if he could actually use that quirk to a certain degree where he could actually rapidly heal someone who has like fallen ill, or rapidly heal someone who has sustained some sort of injury. What if he could actually heal the person to the point where they could like regenerate lost limbs, something like that? Or not even if it's on a specific person, that in and of itself would be excellent. But just imagine if we could actually do it on multiple persons. That in and of itself would be great too. That would be a great activation of the quirk, right? We have a great implication of the quirk. The weaknesses of the quirk include actually draining the user's stamina after it has been activated, and continued use causes fatigue. Like, the quirk can be activated, like at least Katsuma's version can be activated on persons of all blood types. But if he could actually grow and mature, yeah, when he uses it, he'll be fatigued, yeah, after prolonged usage. Like right now, but his usage time could increase exponentially. That means while he's on, like while heroes are battling, whenever, he could be in the hospital or maybe even on the front lines too, probably trying to help persons whenever they would get injured by a villain. He would just heal them like instantaneously. Now, the third quirk on the list is called clones, and this is actually possessed by Ectoplasm. Now, Ectoplasm is a teacher at UA High School and he's a pro hero. With his quirk, he can actually vomit a viscous-like substance, and that viscous-like substance is actually be able to shape into ectoplasm himself. And when it's actually shaped into him, these clones have individuality, as well as they seem to actually share the same mind as ectoplasm, because whenever anything would happen, he would seem to actually gain experience and knowledge from whatsoever when the clones are actually dispersed. But like in this quirk's evolution, what if he could create clones of other persons, and these clones of other persons, like it would still have his mind, yes, but what if these clones could be utilized to like mimic someone else in some way, like perfectly, their voice, clothes, everything. Espionage operations are pretending to be someone else, even if they can't use the person's quirk, but they could actually like try and mimic someone else in a certain way. That quirk's ability would be devastating. And let's put it a step further. Let's say these clones could actually use the quirks of the persons that he actually cloned. Like, what if he would clone Aizawa, and then Aizawa, that clone of Aizawa that he creates, could use the erasure quirk? That would be excellent. Even in like further places in the manga that we've gone so far, we would see that utilization, even in the episodes that we see, that utilization would be excellent. And speaking of Aizawa, the other quirk on this list is Erasure. Now, I think we all know Erasure by now. He would use his eyes, and once he sees someone, he could erase that person's quirk for the duration of time that he's actually looking on them. But what if Aizawa would actually increase the application of this quirk, where once he looks on someone, he can actually erase their quirk for like a minute, and then like the quirk is erased for like a minute. Once he looks at you any at all and activates the quirk is erased for a minute, or even 30 seconds, even 10 seconds, without him having to look at you physically again until that 10 seconds or 30 seconds is up. It's not too broken if you do it like that, and it could be a major improvement. Like, Aizawa could actually look at multiple persons and erase all their quirks. That way he could actually like take down, like, easily take down a group of persons easier than he's actually doing right now, because how he uses the quirk with the application along with his technology and so on, it's already monstrous, and it's already at a level where maybe it's already evolved, but if it could actually go further, that would be more broken. Alright, so the other quirk on this list is called Gas, and it's possessed by Mustard. The user is capable of producing a large amount of purple colored gas, enough to completely fill the beast forest. Remember that training forest where Izuku and the others were at? Like, Mustard was able to completely fill the forest with that. Now, for his quirk activation, or at least to evolve his quirk to another level, what if it doesn't have to be poisonous gas? Poisonous gas is in and of itself is actually broken, but what if he could actually control oxygen, and by controlling that oxygen, he would control how persons would actually breathe. He could control fire quirks. Like, if he could control the level of oxygen around, he could actually stop persons from generating fire. So like the number one hero endeavor, like, without oxygen, how would he actually function? Because fire flames need oxygen. Like, let's look at it another way too. What if he could control specific amount of gas? Like, there are certain gases that are explosive whenever it comes in contact with flames. So what if he could actually have gases that would come in contact with certain flames that probably he would light or other heroes would light or so on, and then because of that gas that's around that fire, an explosion was caused, and that explosion would damage the hero or so on that's near the explosion. That could be another useful application. Alright guys, so the sixth quirk on this list is Holograph, and this quirk is possessed by Mohoro. Remember from that Heroes Rising movie where she would actually create holographs of, like, she created a holograph of Deku where persons could actually see him from a distance. The holograph, they could see the holograph from a distance, so that would be good in contacting large number of people one time. But if she could actually holographic write a message in the sky as well, like, these are things that I believe she can already do. But what if, like, with training, of course it'll be really long time before she's able to do this, but what if she would be able to create holographs that would be solid, no longer holographs anymore? Like something from Bleach. Remember that guy who could actually use his thought forms, great thought, once he thinks, whatsoever he thinks becomes a reality. What if she could evolve that quirk? Of course it'll take many years, but whatsoever she thinks would actually become a reality. Like, whatever holograph she would create, it would have solid form, even if it's gonna have solid form for just like a few seconds, or it could actually just be there for like a time when it wouldn't be sentient, able to move by itself or so on. But what if it could actually be something that would be tangible? What if it doesn't necessarily have to be objects like a person or so on, or a beast? What if it could like be a cell phone, and that cell phone would be tangible for a certain amount of time? That would be a useful application of her quirk, and an ability that she would really be useful as a support character with, or even as a main fighter. That would be very useful. Now the seventh and Second to last quirk on this list is Manifest. Now, Manifest is possessed by Tamaki Amajiki. Now, he's one of the big three at UA. What he can do is once he ingests something, whether it's food or so on, he could actually produce that substance. And that's what he can already do. Like if he eats squid, he'll be able to transform parts of his body into a squid's tentacles. So I believe that if he eats beef, he could be able to transform part of his body into probably a cow hoof, maybe a cow horn, something like that. But that's how his quirk works. So if he can actually do that though, what if he could, like, we saw him kind of do something like this in season 4, but I mean once he ingested someone else's item, like he ingest those diamond crested like things, he was able to create diamond crested like arms as well, and that would be able to have that was something that he used to fight off the villains. Now what if whatsoever he ingests any at all, whether it's a living or non-living thing, whether it's a food item or not, he'll be able to reproduce it. Of course he'd have like side effects, like drawbacks, like he couldn't be able to like just ingest poison like that and then like live to talk about it. Like he could use it for a short time, but I mean like whatsoever he ingests, that's not gonna kill him really, he'll be able to use. And even if he's gonna ingest something that's gonna kill him, at least he'll be able to create that, use it in battle, and then maybe like sacrifice his life after that. But I mean that's another application of the quirk, using it further. Like he could also increase the duration of time, like that he could actually use the foods that he actually eats. Like what if one time he would eat egg and then he'll be able to generate chicken claws or chicken beaks, and what if he could actually be able to keep those items, is what I'm saying, keep whatsoever he eats stored in memory, and he could actually access that anytime he wants. He just have to think and say, okay, I want horns now, okay, I want gills now, anything like that. Anything that he's eaten before, he'd have a memory of it and be able to use it indefinitely. That could be another application. Now the number eight quirk on the list, the best quirk on the list to me, is something that you guys should have expected coming from my channel, is Permeation. And Permeation is possessed by Mirio Togata. Mirio Togata, like his father possessed the same quirk, but his father gave up on using it. Now Mirio Togata can phase through any objects, anything, like as long as he holds his breath, he could continue falling and falling and falling throughout any object. Like he thinks he can actually fall forever. Once he activates the quirk, he just continues falling. Then when he deactivates it, like he gets propelled up throughout whatsoever the object is around him. He gets propelled up through that or around that object, anything like that. Once he deactivates the quirk, then he's able to then he's tangible again. Now Miro trained a lot to get to where he's at with his quirk. He's practically invincible already with the quirk. But what if he could actually keep the quirk activated indefinitely, like, and on any part of his body that he would actually think to activate it on? Like say, alright, he activated his quirk on his left arm and he's no longer has to pay attention to his left arm any at all, or focus on it any at all. Like it's just a focus aspect. What if he doesn't have to focus on it to actually keep it intangible? What if it's something like Obito Uchiha's power, where he would activate his sharingan and any part of his body that he actually wants would go inside that Kumoi world, and inside that Kumoi world he's just intangible completely for 5 minutes. Nothing at all can touch him, but he can still walk. But he makes himself tangible to attack, yeah. But no, what if Miro could use something like Limbo, where like he's intangible, yes, but he would like something like in another world could actually attack for him, or clones of himself could attack. That's a big stretch to it. But like what if he could just like be intangible like indefinitely, and whenever he want to attack, he wouldn't even have to think about it. Whenever he want to attack, when he makes the attack and he wants it to actually land, then he becomes tangible, you know. And if someone does a counter attack, then it instantaneously just goes intangible again without him even have to think about it or focus on it. Now guys, those were my top 8. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for all your patience. Subscribe, hit that comment, hit down that comment section, like, comment, tell me what you think, hit that like button. Thank you so much. This is Lemillion Nation signing out.